Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do a bridesmaid makeup look, which is basically just a really nice soft makeup look that doesn't draw too much attention, but you also have really full coverage, really glowy skin, and you look really glam. This could also be changed around so that it could be a wedding guest makeup. You can also change the colours out, add some more pinks, add some more browns into the look because it's quite neutral what I have done. You don't need to go crazy with the lashes, so feel free to adjust as you will. But yes, I really hope that you enjoy the video. Sorry I didn't upload last week. I had the flu, so I was really ill. I couldn't film. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put on this tinted makeup primer by Laura Geller. It's in the colour Champagne. Basically it just kind of illuminates the skin because I really like a glossy skin finish, but like basically just like really glowy, like the glow from within kind of thing. I'm just going to apply a small amount to my entire face with my hands. If you have any pores, I would recommend the Porefessional primer by Benefit to just put in, like, I don't know, wherever they are, so like the T-zone or across the nose, just here as well. Wherever you have them, this is just a really great product to fill in pores. So I'm going to use that just, like I say, just here. I would recommend using this product after you've used like the glowy product, because then the glowy product's not going to take it away. So for foundation, I'm actually going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation in the colour Light Medium Honey. But you can take literally any foundation that you like. Probably I would recommend going with one that you're used to using, that you know how it lasts on your face and that your skin is used to it, because you don't want to like get a breakout because you're using a new foundation. My favourite way, if you're looking for speed, would be to use the brush, any kind of dense brush like this with a flat top is my preference. There are also like dome type ones as well which you can use, but this is my personal preference. If you've got a little bit more time, I would recommend a beauty sponge. This one is by Morphe. So I've just popped some on the back of my hand and I'm going to go in with my beauty sponge. Remember to take the product down your neck so that you've not got a line here. So that's half of my face done with the Beauty Blender. I'm now going to do the other half with a brush to just show you what the difference is really. So that's that side done with the brush, but I will say that this side is less coverage. I think that's because I use less product, because it kind of goes a further way with the brush. So I think I'm just going to take some more of that product on a beauty sponge and just go over the areas that I want more coverage. Now for concealer, same as the last point, use your concealer that you're used to using on like a daily basis if you're happy with like the coverage for an event like this. I like to go very full coverage, as you can see. So I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and you just want to pop that underneath your eye. And it's quite nice to use a bright concealer for this step, because then it really brightens up the eyes and opens them up for photos. If you bring that down the sides of your nose and then in the centre of your forehead, I like to run it just down the centre, on the cupid's bow, a very small bit on the chin. For this I'm going to use my small beauty blender by Morphe and Jeffree Star and blend it out. I like to be a bit more precise with this, which is why I've gone for the smaller beauty blender. I always advise to go in this part of your eye as well, because you can always miss dark patches that are there too. Once you're happy with how your concealer looks, I would now move on to some kind of highlighting drops. These are the Glow Mon Amour L'Oreal highlighting drops in Champagne, I think. Oh no, they're in shade Sparkling Love. So basically just give them a shake and then put these on the high points of your face. So on your cheekbone, on your nose, cupid's bow, and above your eyebrow. With the same small beauty blender, I'm going to blend them into the skin. And it's really important to do this before you put powder on, otherwise it can break up your makeup, whereas creams on creams work a lot better. I'm just going to do a once over with that original sponge to make sure that it's all together. And now it's time to set the makeup in place. For this, I'm going to use the RCMA No Colour Powder. Sorry about the lighting, it keeps changing because I'm using natural lighting today. Take that same small sponge, make sure you've blended out all of the creases that might have happened. So I've got some on the top of my eyes. Get a small amount of powder and just press where you want to set. Take a little bit of powder. I like to almost wipe it off so that there's not too much powder on there, and set any of the places that you think that you might lose coverage throughout the day. So with that, don't worry about putting any powder on top of the glow that we just put on, because that basically just acts as a base, and once we put regular highlighter on after, it'll kind of just make it pop a little bit more. This lighting is not working for me today. If you don't have any areas on your face where you would think that you went a little bit too matte, then feel free to take the sponge. I would wet it. You can either wet it with water, or you can use it. You can wet it with Fix Plus, and then just go over that area. So just wet that a little bit, and then just dampen the area. For bronzer, I'm going to use the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. I use the lightest colour to highlight with and the medium shade to bronze with. Any kind of big bronzer brush, this is the JH02, so I'm going to take that middle shade just there. This is really pigmented, so you only want to take a little bit at a time. If you need to suck in your cheeks to find where your cheekbones are, then do so, like this. Don't bring your contour and your bronzer down too close to your mouth, otherwise you'll look a bit like almost skeleton-like, and it's just not a good look. You might get a bit of a beard. And that's kind of how it should look on your cheeks. So I'm going to take the same brush, because I like quite a big brush to do this step, and take just a pat of that powder and go to the very highest point of your forehead, so like really bring your hair back to get it in the hairline, and just blend that in there. If you kind of want to carve out your jaw a little bit, I would go in with the same or a mix of these two shades, so just a dab of each, a very small dab, and just run it alongside your jawline, and then blend it down, and that will just carve out your jaw just a little bit more. I'm going to just take this brush here and take the banana powder in the middle, just to that, tap off the excess, and just press it really lightly into the centre of my face to lighten up these areas. Now with any kind of small brush, I use this no, it's not R. I use this Spectrum BO4 brush, and I'm going to tap into my Physicians Formula bronzer, the original shade, which is very used, and just run that at either side of your nose. A nice alternative way of doing that is to grab a big brush, pinch the end, run it into your bronzer, and then just run it alongside your nose. For blusher, I'm going to use this one just here, which is called Rose Spritz by Becca, and I'm just going to take that on my any kind of blusher brush. This is the JH04, so just tap it in once, smile, and pop it on the apples of your cheeks. For highlight, I'm going to be using Becca Opal today, and just a small highlighter brush like so, and be really precise on top of where we highlighted before, where you want to highlight on your cheeks. And run it down the nose, but I will take a smaller brush, run it down that part of the nose, and then on the tip. I'm just going to run and do my brows off camera, so just do them however you usually would. I'll just be using the NYX Tame and Frame like gel pomade to just fill them in a little bit really, but I don't go too heavy when I do like bridesmaids makeup, because you want to keep it quite natural still. So I'm back, and as you can see, I have filled my brows in more, but they're not so precise. They are kind of just fuller than they were before. So now moving on to eyes, I'm going to take my trusty Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and as you can see, it's really loved. This is my go-to palette for beginners and for people that just want to do like a basic soft makeup look. I'm going to take my Morphe Extract and Heal JH30 brush and just dip into Burnt Orange and Raw Sienna, which are these two colours here. just make sure you tap off the excess because it does have a bit, and then take that into your crease with circular motions and window wiper motions. Don't go too high with it at first, but as this is like the transition shade, it's not so bad if you do. It's not the end of the world. Once you get less product on your brush, that's when I recommend going higher. Next, on a slightly smaller brush, I'm going to take Real Girl, which is just here, which is more of an orangey shade. Just tap into that, tap off the excess, and stay a bit lower in the crease. And you blend that in, but the same principle, window wiper motions and like circular motions, very small circular motions. I like to focus most of the colour on the outer corner. Just gives you more of a open eye effect. If you are worried about putting too much pressure on your eye, if you hold the brush further towards the end, you are going to apply the least pressure to wherever you're putting the product down. Next up, I'm going to take a slightly smaller tapered brush and take Warm Taupe just here. Do the exact same principle. Start in the outer corner and work your way slowly into the crease. Now, if that is dark enough for you, then I would leave it there. And if you did want to go a little bit darker, I would take some of Cypress Umber just here. Only a very small amount on a really tiny brush. So a small brush like this, just take a dab and focus it just there. I'd also run it along the lash line slightly, so you can see the difference with each eye. Now that we have the matte shades down, you can go just as is and keep it a matte eye, or you can add a bit of glitter to the look to make it feel a bit more like a party. So this is the Stila liquid eyeshadows in the colour Kitten Karma. That is the colour. It's kind of champagne-y, a little bit of pink in there, but mostly champagne with glitter in. So I would just take this and run it along the lid. Keep it low at first because you don't want to go too high. Then I've just wiped this brush off on my hand. You will just blend these together, and that will naturally take it a bit higher and a bit further over to the dark colour too. Now I will take a small fluffy brush and go in with the two first shades and run that underneath my eye. That might be too big of a brush. And just repeat the process on the bottom lash. I'm going to go in with a smaller brush now and pick up Warm Taupe. And then you can always take a flat topped brush to go in with Cypress Umber and stamp that on the lash line. So you stamp it down initially and then just go in with the same brush. You can always go in with different colours on the eye, so this is quite neutral. So this kind of look would pretty much go with any kind of dress, even if you're a wedding guest, even if you're the bride, this is quite a nice look. But you can also add in different colours, so if you wanted more of a pinky look, you've got Red Ochre, Warm Velvet and Love Letter, Antique Bronze. The two shimmer shades in here are beautiful on the eyes. They are less glittery like I've got on today, but they are more like a shimmer, like I say, the kind of wet look, which I just love. What I like to do is spray it with some Fix Plus. So that is the eyes pretty much done. You can line your eyes if you like. So this is the Kat Von D tattoo liner. I would only put on a really thin line though. So as you can see here, this line is very, very thin. The best thing I think to do is to start on the inner corner of your liner and then bring it to the outer portion of the eye. One last thing that I would quite like to do is add this as an inner corner highlight. So instead of going directly in with the product, I'll get just the tip and put on a little bit on the brush that we used to blend it all together, and then pop it onto the inner corners. I'm just going to take my beauty sponge by Morphe, dip that into some powder like so, and find where the bottom of your contour is, and then just draw a line to kind of snatch it. So I'll just let that sit there for a bit whilst you put on your mascara and your lashes, and I will come back once I've done that. So I've put my lashes on now. These are the Ardell Wispies. They are really cheap and you can buy them in like multi-packs. They are just really light and fluffy and really easy to put on. So if you're new to lashes as well, these ones are a great start. They do smaller sizes too. These ones are quite long. but as you can see, they give like a really nice fluttery effect to the eye, which I just don't think you can beat. Before I put on a lipstick, I'm just gonna wipe off that bake. Just make sure that when you do take it off, you're not just wiping it off, you are almost blending it in. That way you won't get a harsh line, you'll get like a nice soft line. So my go-to lipstick for weddings is Nude Cake by Charlotte Tilbury. I just love the way it looks, and it's just so nude and glamorous, and it's also got a really glossy finish, which I just really like. So kind of just pick your favourite nude lipstick. You can go with a brighter colour if you want. I would probably avoid myself a red or anything for a wedding, just because I feel like the attention needs to be on the bride. So I just like to go with a basic nude. That's how Nude Cake looks on me. Like I say, it will look different on everybody given your skin tone. So it could be too light for some people, it could be too dark for some people. The last thing to do would be to spray your face with Max Fix Plus and Urban Decay All Nighter. This one will help all the makeup sink into your skin and just make it look really flawless, and the other will make it last all day basically. So that's the completed look for how I would do my makeup if I was a bridesmaid, or even this look could be used for a wedding guest as well. So feel free to adapt it as you will. I really hope that some people get some benefit out of me doing this video. If anybody does recreate the look, then please do tag me in it. Let me know if you have in the comments below what worked well for you, what didn't, because like I say, all skin types are different, so some people have different experiences with the techniques that I have just talked about. But now you are ready to go and get your hair done, whether you want curled hair, straight hair, up hair, you know, this look complements it all. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video.